Hello and welcome back. We've got a couple of bangers to close out the first week of Stage 4, and Maven here, joined by the beautiful, incredibly talented Joe Merk-DeLuca. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. You know, it's been a great weekend, a great week of COD so far, and we have a couple of, as you said, bangers to close out this Sunday. Toronto Ultra, maybe one of their first missteps since, they won Stage 2, losing their first match to Florida, and then on the other side for Dallas Empire, they went into Game 5. It wasn't the cleanest match with Vivid, but I'm hoping to see some improvements today.
Absolutely. Yeah, Toronto are looking to bounce back. They looked a little vulnerable in their last series, but no reason to panic. Let's see if the guys can come in and fry today. Let's take a look at the squad here for Toronto Ultra.
Yeah. I'ma get right in my bag. Why you gonna try to get mad? Everybody wanna keep up. Don't you know I move too fast? I'ma zip right past. Drip all on my swag. Why you trying to size me up? You don't wanna try your luck. Hot as a stove, what did you know? Burn like coal, yeah, you know I go. Way too hot, yeah, really too cold. I'ma keep going till I hit my goals. Better get back when I'm in my zone. Do it for the ones that I know back home. Did it myself, they ain't put me on. Don't you call back if you hear that zone. Another level.
A consistent force throughout all of Stage 2 and 3, looking to keep that momentum going. They kicked things off for the loss and now looking to come in and dominate. Joe, look, who are you looking at to really rebound today?
Well, Cammy and Clayster are probably the two that stand out the most to me. If you look at their first series, they really struggled. But honestly, they got away from their formula. They lost 2 search and destroys to the Florida Mutineers. So just looking at them to bounce back on that for sure.
Yeah, and one of them I think was standoff, so obviously it's just tossed in. Maybe not as many reps, so you can maybe chalk that up. But the fact they lost both, yeah, that just hasn't really been a thing for this team. They've been so solid in 2-3-5, and we'll see if they can get back to greatness and form here, and I think most of us expect them to do so. They've been an incredibly fun team to watch.
No, they really have. Again, I think they lost, 3 maps, obviously, and I think all of Stage 2 in group play, they only lost 2. So this is really, since they won Stage 2, the first, sort of setback that we've seen from them. I'm just excited to see the way that they bounce back.
100%. A lot of us are waiting to see how that's going to go out. And on the other side of it, it will be Dallas Empire. The new look squad, they get a Game 5 win, looking to keep that momentum rolling in Stage 4. Let's check out Dallas Empire.
Dallas Empire have smashed the gates open.
Stella with the round 1 ace.
Oh, it's a shot punch. Oh no! Once again, they saved the day.
Well, we've seen several rosters from this Empire team since the removal of Hook from the main roster, fellow first in. Now it is Vivid's turn, and in his first series, wasn't really all that impressive, but they get the W. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of a transition period to work him into the mix of things.
No, 100%. Obviously, he didn't play a stage. He's got to get back into rhythm. He's still putting in that work and I think I saw him in 8th almost every single night, just trying to find that play time, but back into a brand new system for him. And obviously, he's got a lot of veterans, championships around him. He's just got to learn from this Dallas Empire team.
They're trying to find that mix that's going to give them a chance at going back-to-back and taking another world championship if they can do it. But let's check out our game fuel keys to victory now. Joe, what were you thinking?
Oh, well, like you said, not the debut we're looking for if you were, a Dallas Empire fan, but you get the win, right? He's minus 30 in the series, 0.67 overall. It wasn't good, to be honest. It was pretty bad. But can he bounce back from that? And the fact that they won this series tells me he's at least doing the right things. Continue to prove in Search and Destroy. They won both of them. They were 3-5 in Stage 3, so the fact that they win both of those is already a much better start than what we saw. And Crim was huge in that. He went 20-11 across those 2 maps. It would be huge if they could steal this control in the series. They were 1-7 in Stage 3. We know how good Toronto Ultra can be.
Yeah, their control game, even though they had that shaky series to start things off, they still won the raid control 3-0. So it seems that's still working out well. And speaking of Toronto, let's look at their game fuel keys to victory, Joe.
Well, we kind of talked about it. I get back to their winning formula, 2-3-5. They lost both Search and Destroys to Florida. They only won 5 rounds between the 2 of them. Cammy and Clayster need to come out of the gates hot, minus 24 across the series. And I think Cammy, really struggled on that raid. Hardpoint, that's our map 1 here today. They continue to dominate that game 3. I guess if there's a bright spot, they 3-0 Florida on raid. It has been their home. They were 8-1 on control throughout Stage 3. Keep that momentum going in that game mode.
Yeah, no, 100%, because I think the reason that this team, I really started to believe in them is because, yeah, they were playing the right way, but I really thought Cammy and Cleanix were kind of developing as superstars. You know, those guys that are going to go out and drop numbers just about every game. You need someone that's going to be a beast on the map, and Cleanix, Cammy, when we were watching it was so impressive. But yeah, that raid, map 1, I think it was -15 for Cammy, -9 for Cleanix. I don't know that this team can win hard points if those two are going to have those types of stats.
No, I mean, they're just not. It's one of those things where it has been a little off for them. But just taking a look at these maps, Express Search and Destroy, a very good map. If you go to the Moscow, they're 5-5 on that one, where Dallas Empire are 1-4. The key thing for me throughout this, though, is that control garrison, because obviously teams, you can see it, they don't want to play them on raid control, but they've been able to win this garrison control ever since winning that stage 2 major. Dallas Empire, can they find a win there? That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Well, that's why Ultra's so dangerous, right? You don't want to play him on raid. Then, like, a lot of teams don't have that second really good map. They're 6-2 on garrison. So, the control has been a hotspot for them for sure, and I think that's why it's so key. Like you said, can Empire somehow pull that out? But we'll kick things off on raid hardpoint, 7-7 for Ultra, 3-2 for Empire, and yeah, I mean, some of the hardpoint stats look pretty good for Empire because they started the year so strong in it. They were dominant, but since then haven't exactly found that form. But we'll see if they can get back to it.
Yeah, even last stage, that was like their one bright spot with Fellow. They were still pretty solid and competitive in hardpoint. The key for me here is, again, you're bringing in Vivid, but iLLeY is going back to that flex. And even when iLLeY was at that flex role in stage 1 and stage 2, it just felt like he can never, really get comfortable. Him and Crim were playing a little bit fast. I want to see as one of those guys going to slow down, kind of play that more of that insight role. But raid hardpoint, as you said, it's one Toronto lost a couple of days ago. Can Dallas Empire strike first?
Well, it's 3 quick kills through for Ultra, and Cleanix already into the point, but Crim just hitting it. A nice 3-0 start from Benjamin Bance, and he's got the read and pick up on the driveway push. Fantastic start. I mean, you get in the point, you get the flip, you get the kills, everything you want if you're Ultra.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, they flip the spawns right away. Dallas Empire, they are stuck. That's 4 dead again. And now you're put in this position. Do we have to go water side? And I think that's going to be the call. But you can kind of rotate for this, almost like they're playing, controller, search and destroy. You put a player money window. You have mid-courtyard. I thought that insight was going to rotate on over. He does find one. Cleanix and Cammy, though, are there. And as you said, about as good as a start as you could get. Kitchen about to pop up, and Bance still alive. Now on a 5-3, trying to find those streaks.
He's still battling. 1 away now. 6-0 start for Bance. And even though a lot of these fights are going to go on, we have to hop to Kitchen to see the battle, but I do want to see if he can get the streaks. It's just everything else is going to be going down Kitchen's side. It might be a one-on-one with Crim that'll decide it. It looks like he's going to wrap to the back. His teammates have still held on, but it's a pinch through the back for iLLeY. That gets the opening. Bance will get his first streak, though, as he finally gets in on the action. And if you're Empire, you're finally starting to enjoy some time to do the flood from the front.
Yeah, at least you have some map control, right? You're contesting some of this time. But the key thing here is, can they rotate? And you see those spawns. Inside and Cleanix actually spawn driveway. So Toronto Ultra with 25 seconds left are gifted the rotation over to Garage. Empire going to get the scrap time. But surprise, Toronto Ultra is here already. Crim, though, he's had a couple of multi-kills already. There's another one. At least get them inside a Garage as it's about to pop.
And I feel like here you have to have an incredible hardpoint for your Empire, because once we head to court, now with those streaks on Bance, if they get the time in Garage, they might be able to link those two together. So you need to get a stronghold here. An Empire lock it down. iLLeY doing his best from Art as he's now on 3 in a row. And so far, so good for the Empire squad. Some much needed time. And it looked ugly about 20 seconds ago.
Well, and as you said, I mean, I don't even know if, you can use them at court if you want to, but I feel like teams have gotten really good just playing their life inside a Tiki, inside a kitchen.
That's true.
Even inside of that corner, inside the hill, right? And kind of avoiding those streaks. I think they're much more effective on that P5 if you go back to ring. So Toronto Ultra, if they can save the streaks after this, so you're going to see the lead change come in. A very good job by Dallas Empire, but now we get to this money hill at courtyard. Toronto Ultra can get this 50 to 60, then use both of those streaks to combine the next two hills. That's when this game can open up wide open for them.
Well, it was a beautiful start for Ultra. Empire bounced back. They've got the lead now. They've taken control. They're trying to get the breakthrough court, trying to get the streaks onto iLLeY. I want to see how they try to set this up. Let's go to an Astro listen in now with Dallas Empire.
In the back. He's in the back on me, Chance, dead.
Good shit. Yo, let's hit the shit.
Nice.
He's outside pillar weak, outside weak.
Bad shot.
Good shit, Porter.
They
They might shriek. Go hold.
Kitchen. Could be all.
Yo, in Tiki half.
Is she gonna cruise the guys? Yeah, I'm trying to get one kill, bro.
Yeah, fly
Try to push out.
You go front.
Yo, left side.
He killed.
That one.
Good shit,
Mirror front.
Let's get ring. Me now.
You want front supporter thing?
You guys hold that? Yeah, hold ring.
Don't line up. Yeah, don't line up. Yo, you say no.
You guys have ring.
Yo, LL.
He's something.
Yeah, first pillar dead.
Nice. One's water steps.
Let's do that. Let's go. We should go.
I'll see you. Yo, two water steps.
Top bar, Cammy. One.
I
knew
it said weak.
Do you have tricks in there?
No.
One's holding water stairs. One's on their side of hill.
Yeah, let's go get ring. Yeah, take your time. Yeah, reset your time. He's gonna push out. He's gonna push out ring somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going on her. He's laying on her. I got one water step.
I bought a Reese. Yeah, he's top ring. Top ring.
Nice.
Watch
up hill. Inside that hill. Square. He's front kitchen. Front kitchen. Kleenex. Item twice. He's down the wall. Being close.
Sure. Yeah, I'm one time. You go behind the pillar. First pillar, guys.
I'm helping you old ring. I'm about to go water stairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go kitchen. You guys double work that.
Yeah. Water stairs. Can we water stairs weak?
Pitches in.
Stay water stairs. Water stairs. I don't see anyone. One water steps. Water steps
time and.
One shot close right down. Did you get that card?
Yeah, behind you, kitchen. Make sure hold spawns. Where do you go?
Yo, Cammy's going laundry. Cammy is going laundry.
Cammy dead.
Pushing me first. I'm going water stairs.
You take your time. Make the money.
Yeah. One's gonna be art.
Hey, I'm blue van.
Every top right. He's right on the inside. Watch out.
Well, Joe, I know it was a little bit ago, but basically exactly what you said about streaks at court happened.
Yeah, I mean, they had to call one in, so they still have the artillery, and it was a bit of a waste. It doesn't turn at any time. Dallas, they get that break. They avoid the streak. But Toronto Ultra, in such a beautiful response there at P5, that was a 50 to 60 seconds. They now have the rotation. They still have the artillery on Vance as well. It was only a ping used by him. And maybe not the way I thought they were going to open up the game, but they're doing it without those streaks.
Well, Kleenex almost got all four. From like the mid-rock, I think he got 3 and weakened the 4th one. You heard like every player from Empire calling out they put a bullet in him as he's just tearing everybody apart. A nice individual moment. It's led to a ton of time for Ultra as they've really begun to pull away. Now up 60. As we'll get back over to kitchen. An opener from Kleenex. The man is on a mission. At 14 and 10, and we were looking for him and Cammy to rebound from their poor result on this map and mode in their last series. Well, they're doing it.
Yeah, great game from them, and I think it's really the ARs of Dallas that are keeping them in this game. Vivid and Shotzzy struggling as they are down 60 points. Vance, he is going to call this artillery in. And he kills his teammate. Okay. Questionable call there. Everyone from Dallas is still alive.
He's getting another one. He's
Sure,
on 6 in a row. He's going to get another one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, if it was a miscommunication, but yeah, the only person dropping is his teammate, but Vance is 15 and 7. About to earn another set of streaks if he can just finish something here. And they're looking to hit over the 200-point mark. There we go. Artillery. Vance on a run.
I don't know if he ended up picking that up. Maybe one of those.
Wait.
I don't think he did, but yeah, maybe because he had a team kill or something. I don't exactly know, but or
no, because it showed the progress
on the rotation.
It showed the progress towards the missile. He was just away from him. I'm trying to think that the one he called in, he had just earned from that streak. I was thinking it was the first one. Yeah. Looking to put it away now in garage. They've got this setup, funneling him through water side. Cammy and inside just have it lined up with the Krigs. And you love when the fights are going down to mid-map. Nowhere near the hard point. They just have this locked down. Empire cannot find any opening. Now trying to take it all through Zig. iLLeY will be able to get in behind. That'll be 3 down. Where's the spawn come in? 1 spawns close. 2 will spawn out ringside, but just 10 more points needed. They have dominated late in this game, and despite having the numbers, Empire cannot get through. Ultra will hold on an insight, a little snap. And there's the closeout. Ultra take map 1, and yeah, heck of a lot cleaner than the last time we saw him just a couple days ago.
I mean, I would love, I don't know where Dallas was after basketball court, but it was right around 110, 120 points. I think they only got 20 or 30 more after that. It was
100%.
almost
Yeah,
perfect
100%.
hard point from Toronto Ultra from that point forward. And really what it's P1 and P2. Similar to what they did on the first rotation, they do it on the second rotation. Pants gets those streaks again. And you saw the scoreboard really struggling on the Dallas Empire side is those submachine guns. They could not get rolling. You have to give props to the map control that Toronto Ultra. They're just able to put on the map, right? Just right from the get-go, put them into a bit of a trap.
Yeah, I mean, really, I guess the moment it sticks out is during the listen in when they were trying to kill Cleanix in courtyard. Like after he got the 3.5, if you count the damage into the player pillars, they just didn't look back. It couldn't have been more than 20 or 30 points, but Ants only died 8 times over the course of the entire game. That's pretty impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, you wanted to see a bounce back game if you were an Ultra fan, and you got it right there. Just convincing win on raid hardpoint. It's been pretty 50 for them, you know, as a squad, but with Inside it's been much better. And I feel like when they are at their most dangerous, it is when they're winning these raid hardpoints, because it's one of their go-tos, and able to bounce back here, looking much better today.
Well, I would be willing to bet that 4 of the 7 losses came back with the old roster. Honestly, we remember all those close losses. They've been so much better, but it's a happy Ultra after map 1, dominant the second half of the game. We'll get up to the search and destroy after this quick break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Empire can't get it going in the second half of that map 1. Now they'll look to get it going in the search, where they were able to win both in their last series. They win it in Game 5 fashion over Ravens. But I want to talk a little bit about Vivid and coming into the squad. You know, we mentioned he had the rough first series, starts a little rough there in the map 1, and I think Empire learning that even if, let's say, Hook wasn't in the right mindset, wasn't playing well, whatever it was, it's still very, very hard shoes to fill. To find someone to come in and fill a gap like that when you have a talent of that proportion.
Oh, no, 100%. But I just think for Vivid, I mean, obviously it's still very early. But don't forget the fact that, like, he's never been a part of a team besides the Guerrillas, right? Like, this is his second pro team, and it's also a Dallas Empire team that has had some success. Maybe there's some pressure, or he's feeling that pressure right now. The fact is he has to get comfortable, right? You have to be the guy that they brought you on to be. And that was kind of around that 0.9, 0.95 that he was on the Guerrillas, putting pressure on the map. And you saw those stats. I mean, they're horrible. They're not good.
Yeah.
So he's got to bounce back.
Yeah. It's a small body of work, but you got to pick it up, because I think for him and what went down with the Guerrillas, I think we all kind of think, he was playing pretty well on that team. They weren't winning. He probably thought that it needed to improve, or he needed to make a change. They let him go. He's now, I think we would all agree, he has a team now that is capable of winning. So if you got what you wanted, yeah, you need to come in and perform. And I don't know how much time you give it, but he's only played a series. But the sooner you can turn it around, the better. But maybe it is a little bit pressure, like you said.
Yeah, just him getting comfortable, right, in a different position, right, playing with these guys, people he's never played with before. But, you know, yeah, we're going to have our eyes on him because he's playing with our World Championship team for last year. They're trying to go back-to-back. They're trying to figure things out. Well, still some time to work with.
I think we all view this as his shot, right? He got a team that can be a contender, 100%. So, now come in and perform. We'll look to keep an eye on those improvements as we go on, but now to the Express. When you talk of these two teams, it's 4-1 for Ultra, 5-4 for Empire. So Ultra obviously the better win percentage, but Empire this is the 10th time they have played it. They've got a lot of reps.
Yeah, a lot of reps though means lots of VOD. So Toronto, they 3-stack off A right away. Vivid's not going to see anything at this B bomb. He's going to get the bomb planted. Maybe not the position we always see it planted for. He's a little bit safe, but Shotzzy's been lurking here the entire time, and he's going to find one. A nice trade by Bance, but Crim watching over his teammates. He knows there's another player there. Now it's just about wasting that clock. Insight on the opposite side of the map, trying to wait for Bance to make the move.
Oh, he was trying to be sneaky. He gets spotted. Crim just staying alive. And just wasting time. Then the finesse to close it out. Nice round from Empire.
Yeah, nicely done by Shotzzy. Just to, to be patient, at least he found one, and then Crim looking over him. Able to get this first kill, but then his ability to stay alive here. And even if he dies there, he wasted, 5-10 seconds for Bance and for his teammates to find insight on the opposite side of the map. Even if Bance wins that, he would have been left all alone in a 1v2. But a nice slow round offensively from Dallas Empire. They see the free plant, they go for it.
And it looks like they're expecting some aggression, maybe out of Shotzzy. I mean, that's what they're playing for. And the patience is paying off on the other side. Holding catwalk will be insight. They expected somebody to fly, and fly they did. First blood to Ultra. Now Shotzzy in the lurk role. Last time was able to make some noise and get the first blood. Will it pay off this time? Yes, Shotzzy has got to be annoying the hell out of Ultra right now.
And then iLLeY with another one. They play really slow. Think the B site's open. It is. They're able to get the bomb down, but the players on the opposite side of the map do get taken down. Grim, again, patient on his catwalk. Bance gets taken down. Cleanex able to find a one-on-one. They got two members that they take down. Can he get some timings on his side? They're not on the defuse quite yet.
There's
that
timing.
Oh
my God, that timing. Oh my God, can he get on it? Can he get there? Can he get there?
He got it.
He got it. I was going to say it had to be so close right before the kill comes in. The defuse is through. And poor Shotzzy, my God, did he get horrific timing. But Cleanex nearly the hero in the 1v3. But Crim stuck it just in time. I was literally just waiting for it to pop up with who won because I had no idea. It was so close.
Yeah, I was waiting for the game to tell me.
Yeah,
exactly. It was like it was milliseconds away.
Unbelievable finish to that round. Will take us to 2-0 for Empire. And they finally get Shotzzy off the map early. Able to get away with just 20 HP. Nice pick from Insight and a much needed first blood for Ultra in a hole.
Again, it's just 3-stack at A from Toronto Ultra. They're going to kind of fly as a unit, maybe get to Insight, but Vivid's just holding this. Just holding this right now, and now he's kind of the lone man. His teammates are still in their spawn, and Vivid almost catches another one. The push-up through middle of the map is finally coming from Shotzzy. He's not going for the objective. He's playing for the kills with his teammate. Crim, guess what? On the opposite catwalk. And I think Shotzzy, he's going to get this time. Just some weird rounds, what we typically don't see on Express. Dallas playing a little bit differently, catching Ultra off guard.
I swear, this is about the 17th player I've seen take 3 bullets and get away with their lives on the Empire side. This time, able to chase him down, though. From a 1v3 to a 1v2 now for Cammy. The bomb will go down at B. Let's see if he can make this play. Shotzzy is showing his jumping skills. Oh, it's very impressive. And we know how hard it is to retake from this side, especially when you have somebody in that position. And when that player is Shotzzy, some of the best movement in the game. Good luck. Go, oh my God. Little ledge boost off the side. No chance.
Yeah, nice job. But again, it feels like Empire kind of know the way Ultra are playing this. They're giving up the B site. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to pick off the players as they rotate back from A. They're not even going for the objective. Just really taking their time, working the catwalks, trying to find the opening. Shotzzy was able to get to Vivid. Vivid played his life so well. And on the opposite side, it's been Crim, who's just been the catwalk king. Well, that was a pre-fire that just didn't work out.
What?
Yeah,
was that literally just a wallbang pre-fire and he just smoked his teammate?
Yeah, and then he died.
Well, if we're making like a top 5 mishaps from this week, that's an easy one. All right, Crim in a 1v2. Not really anything to do with a play by Ultra. We'll see if he can clutch it up, though. I'd love to know how the comms were going during that. It must have been a circus. He is able to at least spot one, but 35 seconds now to work this. You mentioned how clutch he was. What did you say? 20-11 across the 2 maps in their last series. 5-2 here. Chance to be a hero after the blunder.
Yeah, just not enough time. Cammy and Clayster, they just haven't given him a peek. You know, Crim, the way he's playing that patiently on the block, he's hoping that someone tries to get a little sneaky, right? Tries to go on top of the train or over peaks and he can get a pick. It was a nice nade on the player who planted the bomb, but really, this was the best play. But really, the best play for Toronto Ultra is that iLLeY, well, took down himself and Vivid.
Yeah, no, they won around by doing nothing. Yeah. Okay, so they were given around. Now let's see if they can do something with it. Hopefully Empire can avoid those mistakes when you're at a major tournament. It's going to be a fast hit towards A. There'll be a presence here from Ultra, and they could have a fast pinch through the flank. His 2 have pushed all the way through. And this just might come down to timing for Empire and when he gets picked up.
Yeah, maybe this is why we saw those 3 stacks just early on from Ultra. They know they like to go A. This time, though, the A execute comes through Empire. They're going to get the bomb down. It's going to be a 4v4. Everyone's still alive, but it is a cluster. All the Empire players are so close together. Here comes the push. Bands on top of the train. A nice nade from Insight. Able to find that second kill. And they just get suffocated out as Toronto Ultra with an easy retake.
Well, Joe, if Ultra managed to win this map, I think I know what round we're going to be looking at.
This one, because it was great, right?
Well, the last one, you just wonder if, like, I don't know, it's a small thing of momentum. Like, you're getting smoked, then, like, all right, well, we're back in this thing. This one was very, very impressive, too, but it was just all Empire. Then the mistake happens, and it's just sometimes I just feel like when you're the underdog in a series and you're playing against a team that doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, and a team like Ultra, you can't afford stuff like that. You just can't.
No, and they're going to make some adjustments the way Empire has been playing it. Right? Maybe just a little bit different than what they're used to. I mean, just some odd rounds, honestly. Great strategies from Dallas Empire, but Ultra now just trying to figure it out. You see 2 players playing very slow towards the catwalk right now. The other 2 very aggressive towards A. And there is a stack here from Empire. With an aid, give them some information. Crim watching over his teammates. They might know this now. Here comes the push. I thought for a second from Crim, but he's just going to back on down.
Clayster is just itching. He's ready to fight. And it looks like they might just wrap this out. They got the information. They're going to transition off of this. They'll leave Clayster to lurk. Maybe he can pick up a kill similar like we saw to Shotzzy in the opening round. Because the plant's now going down at B. And when they opt to move off of this, well, they're going to know Clayster's position now, and the bomb's going to get planted. Shotzzy at least able to get one of the trades. But Insight has got him lined up. He's top catwalk. The final goes through, and it's been 2 dominant rounds after the Empire blunder.
And I mean, what, a nade hits. Like, you could just tell Toronto wanted to get out. They're like, okay, there's probably 2 or 3 players here. We should just rotate out of this and get to B. In Dallas, because, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to overcommit. They weren't exactly sure how many players were there, but because they don't go, that opens up the B bomb site for Toronto Ultra. Just almost a little too patient there in that round.
Let's see how they changed it up this time. They should have, for the most part, a wide open bomb site, at least for a second. The rotation now coming in from Ultra as they had all 4 near mid and B. Now 3 have wrapped back, 1 still lurking and inside on the opposite side. Cammy's just spotting for information. He gets eyes on 1, maybe 2. Who's that mid for Empire, though? It's Vivid that's going to have eyes in the cross, but it's a nice first blood from Cleanex to get us started.
Well, he was playing that bomb. Bomb does not get down, so now iLLeY is forced to make a play. The difference is Dallas did a little bit more spread out. They did not want to get all stuck inside of A. But because Bomb's not planted, now we're into a 2v2. 40 seconds left. Inside just going to get towards his teammate. Honestly, if I'm Dallas, I kind of take this because the rounds they won, not because they've planted the bomb and won it with it down. It's kind of these skirmishes across the middle of the map, but Crim now has to win a 1v2.
20 seconds to go. It's all on Crim. He's got to plant or find these kills. And Ultra still just playing together. He's going to try and hop this. I think Bance saw him on the cross. He will fly in, will be a freebie. 4 in a row now to Ultra.
And yeah, I mean, they're stacking towards B. Toronto Ultra is saying, hey, we'll play retake. We'll play a 4v4. We did it last round. We did it easily on our defense. So we're going to give this bomb up. But Dallas, they don't want to get stuck. They're a little bit more spread out. Shotzzy, he's just hoping he can get that bomb down and get away with his life. Maybe the round a little bit easier for Dallas there, but in that 2v2, iLLeY just gets caught, puts Crim in a tough position with no time.
And this reminds you just what was so impressive about Ultra. Like before NYSL was in the mix, but them in FaZe, the mid-round adjustments, in any game mode. That ability to adjust has separated them from the rest of the pack, but finally something looking good for Empire. They get the 2 opening kills, and they're in a good position. They're going to be able to get this bomb planted, though, if you're Ultra. So Bance and Cammy, they've got a shot. Oh, well, now it gets a little bit more difficult. Cammy will be put down. Bance has been spotted. Empire. My God, did they need a round, and they finally get one.
Yeah, they needed that bad, and, well, it's just the pre-fire down low. Stops that B push. Crim's able to find that first blood. There's one more player on B, and then in that 4v2, they just go for the B stack. They're saying the same thing, like, we'll play the retake at A, but they're able to catch the players towards B.
Yeah, I mean, the pre-fire, when it's not into your teammate, it works out a whole lot better when it hits the other team. Yeah. Nice shots from iLLeY. But, yeah, that's what it looks like when the bullets hit the opponent. They're in a 4v2 instead of a 2v4. Like, literally the exact opposite to start off. So, solid job there from Empire. But, yeah, they just needed it. I mean, after the mistake, it was just 3 more rounds right after that Ultra were able to dominate. This brings us to 4-4. We've seen this before. Empire with the fast hit. A 2-man flank from Ultra. This time, did they pick up the flank a little bit better? Look at where Crim gets tucked away. Yep. And that's the difference between the first time we saw it.
He knows there could be a second. He's trying to make another play. Bomb is being planted. And it looks like the response is to take their side. And they're trying to, but Cammy is inside lockers. Vivid able to find one, but now it's on iLLeY in a 1v2. And again, they give up the A bomb, and they're able to win the round. Toronto Ultra just picking them apart. You see what Dallas is trying to do. You have the reposition from Crim. He's saying, hey, there's another one flank. You guys should try to fly forward. But when they try to fly forward, they just get caught.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, all right, you guys are going to take your time and clear the site. We're not there. We're going to take our time to take map control. And it's just, yeah, I like the adjustment by Crim, but there's just too many players there.
Well, now, I mean, you can just see the miscommunication right there in that best play, right? You have Shotzzy going back to mid-train. You had Vivid and iLLeY sliding off top control going the other way. It felt like there was definitely some miscommunication there in that round from Dallas.
maybe after hearing the comms, the NYSL yesterday, and how solid they were, and I don't know, some of the inconsistencies from Empire, a lot of it could be comms related. See if it's something they can improve, but now Ultra 1 round away from going up 2-0. First blood for Vance, 2 are already dropped. They're looking to close it out here with the 4v2 advantage. They started out down 0-3. Haven't really given Empire a ton of hope since then. Criminelli, though, bring it to a 2 versus 2. They've got a chance to bring this to a round 11 now. All going to be on Crim. I think his third 1v2 situation. Can't get it done. Ultra take the win, and yeah, it was a different map after that round 4.
No, it really was. And I mean, you obviously have to give props to Toronto for the adjustments that they made. And I think especially on their defenses, because as Dallas was attacking, they weren't really playing around the bomb plants. They were kind of playing, just very pick heavy, waiting for Toronto to make that move. And once we got into those retake rounds, that's where Ultra thrived. They just looked a step ahead. And well, for Dallas, when they're trying to retake right there, Toronto gives them no room to work with.
All smiles from Benjamin Vance. You love it. Ultra get the win. 5-game winning streak at Express Search and Destroy. They're 5-1 this season. So yeah, after losing the first, they have not looked back. Perfect there since the first L. Might have been a little worried as an Ultra fan once they went down 0-3, but some incredible plays. We're going to check out our U.S. Army tactical play here shortly. And first, let's check out the stats real quick. Was there anything kind of insane? What, 9-5 from Insight, 8-5 from Cammy?
Well, it's just balanced. I mean, that's kind of what we see on Express at times.
Yeah, nothing too wild. But with the U.S. Army tactical play, we're actually going to do we're going to do 2 things. We're going to look at the round 5, which is like the round after the blunder, when Ultra just dominate, right? Like it's like a clean sweep retake. It is perfection. I think we're also going to check out what went wrong in that round 4 previously that seemed to sort of propel the shift in the game. I mean, maybe it wasn't all that, but it sort of felt like it shifted. So let's check out the good round 5 from Ultra, where they really started to get things going. It was a beautiful retake, Joe. Let's take a look.
Well, Dallas know the way that Toronto Ultra, they're going to try and switch some things up, and they go for the plant. But all 4 players are playing from inside of this control and lockers. In Toronto, they feel it out. They see nobody on the flank. They have top train control. The nades are hitting. All the players from Dallas are weak. Nobody drops from Ultra. Just beautifully done. They get all the information on the map.
Yeah, it's a flawless retake. But then before this is the start of the round. And Vivid's just looking to push through, and I guess there's a miscommunication. iLLeY's looking to wallbang for info and just shoots him right in the back. I don't know exactly how it went, but I don't know. It seemed to flip it on its head.
Yeah, that's when, I mean, who knows? That could have been when Ultra started to make those adjustments, and maybe they start winning anyways. But as you said,
True.
I think that maybe ruffles the feathers a little bit for Dallas Empire. Again, trying to figure things out with a new player, people in new positions, and that does not help anyone.
No, it does not. But Ultra, they go up 2-0. And unfortunately for Empire, we're now headed to Control. Where Control, they have been rough. On the other side, Ultra have been disgusting. They get the map 2 win. They look to close it out in 3-0 fashion. We get to Garrison Control after a quick break.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. USAA Insurance. Easy insurance for your gear, IRL.
Welcome back. What? Ultra up 2-0. So far, so good. Looking to close this out 3-0. They were flawless back in stage 3. They start with a bit of a road bump in the beginning of this stage. Now looking to answer back very, very swiftly. And Control is where they have been so good, Joe. They've been incredible. And on the other side, Empire have struggled. How are Empire going to pull this out?
I mean, I don't really know if they are, honestly. I just want to see some improvements for Dallas Empire.
Yeah.
I think I want to see them maybe have a more competitive map. But, I mean, you can see it here for, Toronto Ultra second in the record. I think you take stage 1 away from that. When they brought in Inside, they might be #1 or very darn close to it. But great on attack. Their KD is up there. They're slaying with the best teams. On the Dallas Empire side, you're 1-7 in your last 8 controls. And since the departure of Hook, you just haven't really been able to figure it out.
No, and I mean, God, you think of some of the wins they've gotten, it's been in those crazy miracle ones, like against, against NYSL, against Røkkr. Like, they haven't had many wins, and when they've got them, it has just been a circus, it's felt like. But this is an overall look at the quickscope and where these teams have found the wins by each mode. But now they'll try to get the comms on point, get locked in, and bring this back to pull off a reverse sweep. But we'll have to do it against one of the best control teams in the game. And I guess if you're an Ultra fan and you're a little bit worried about their first series, you got to be feeling a bit better now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long year, right? You're not always going to be perfect. Road bumps are going to happen, but certain losses at certain times can be a good thing. We've seen that in the past. It's a motivation thing. Obviously they didn't win the third major, but they probably just expected them to cruise through group stage maybe the way they did throughout that stage, and then they could really focus on major #4. But a little kick in the butt by the Mutineers, and they're right back to it.
Yeah, once I looked at the stats of it, I kind of chalked it up as an off day for Cammy. He's been so consistent, and he has had a really bad series. That's all I thought it was, but we'll see if there's more to it. At least within this series, they seem to be back on their game. We get ready to hop into Garrison. We'll see who can get advantage of the opening break and get off to a smooth start. It'll be offense first for Empire. Kleenex, though, man, with his playmaking ability, he can really lock down mid-map, but okay, never mind. Crim is just peeling people. Kleenex does answer back with 2 before he drops.
That's actually big, the fact he's able to find 2 there. You'd probably have a bit more of a stack on this B zone. Maybe already have some progress. Now they have to play it a little bit differently. Is iLLeY and Vivid trying to get some position, and maybe they would have got pushed up right into lights, had someone towards that spot as Shotzzy's trying to do right now. But it's a nice response right off the spawn, and Cammy just making sure they have top green control. And this is what we typically see from Ultra. Control the power positions, and then if there's an opening, try and take it and put them in that trap.
Well, they get the retake on B for the time being. Nice start from Kleenex after that double. He's pushed out the 5 and 2. They got one bit of progress, but not much outside of that. They do have one guy inside top green. And that's just iLLeY looking for an opener. But his teammates all kind of dropping around him. He ends up falling as well. Now Shotzzy trying to make the play on the point. He's got a one-on-one versus Inside. Inside finds some lovely timing. Challenges out right as Shotzzy turns. Able to take him off the objective.
It's been these kills, though, that have been big for Dallas Empire, so they don't get all the way pushed back. It's been Crim and iLLeY, and they do it again. They find a couple of kills that gives them a cushion to work with, but Kleenex going on a big flank. How many can he find? Inside still alive, looking over him, But Crim inside the truck, he's like, hello, I'm still here. The last player up on that B zone, just trying to pause the clock.
Yeah, I think he nailed it in the sense that they've gotten enough kills to not get smoked, like, you know, not get pinned deep, but after that, they've never been able to really get the next wave, right? To apply any consistent pressure towards the objective. It ends up being a really good hold by Toronto Ultra. It bounced back from kind of losing the opening engagements. And it's just dominant from there.
Yeah, it was just the next set of kills that Dallas were looking for.
Just couldn't get it.
And they never came through. They were doing a pretty good job. I think it was 13 to 12 in life count when we were kind of having that discussion of them not getting trapped. But Toronto Ultra, they kept control of the map. They never gave up too much map positioning. They always had someone top green. Not a lot of objective work done at B either, so job well done. And now Ultra, can they win this attack?
Yeah, I just don't. They avoided ever having like a 3 or 4 down scenario. Like they never got smoked off the map. Never allowed Empire to get any kind of good control. So really good job by them. Now the offense. It's a double from CleanX again. CleanX is on one right now. He is absolutely snapping. As that's 3 in a row, 11 and 5. Onto the objective he goes, and soon they'll have as much progress as we saw for Empire throughout that entire first round. How do you play this retake scenario if you're Empire?
Well, and I think what was huge is it was actually a 1v2, and inside office spawn got a kill top green to help him out. That gave CleanX another 1v1. I think he probably gets hit by 2 players, but instead, CleanX still alive. Now he's got a streak. He earns that artillery on 5 in a row. On the other side of the map, it's Cammy who's pushed on out. And now if you want to, maybe you use it, at least gonna ping it and give his team all the info.
Well, Vance knows they're all flying forward, just trying to hold this corner. Defensively, they're at least able to set up a wall for now. You've got that artillery when you want to use it. We'll see when that comes into play, but nice kills from Crim to at least get them green control again and I guess put Ultra back to the first step to find an opener. That's, ooh, almost 3 in a row there for Vance. Okay, it's been a nice regain from Empire, though. They've gotten back out to mid.
That has, but we've seen this from Toronto. They just need to get a kill or 2. They'll get pushed up towards the light side, and that's what they kind of... If they're able to get into bricks, how many times have you and I see Vance, CleanX, that duo, just basically win them offensive rounds by obtaining that position? And look at Vance. It's him and CleanX. They're starting to get up in the defensive spawn. You have CleanX inside of bricks. Vance is going all the way through. So just all they needed was a little bit of an opening. They can be so difficult to take down at times.
Not going to happen, though. It was nearly there, but what's wild is you still have over a minute to play. Like, it feels like so much has happened, but they got that opening cap so quickly. There's still so much time. This might end up coming down to the lives. You've got 10 left for either side. And I thought he was going to call it, but iLLeY is going to get all 3. Nice individual moment from iLLeY. 45 seconds to go now for Ultra. And it's starting to get a little desperate now. I mean, you're only down a life, but you're going to have to get to the point at some point.
Well, and I think for Empire, too, it's 7v7. You have to play this a little patient. You can't give up 3 kills. Now the streak going to come in. He's going to try and deal with the players that are defending the point. He doesn't get one with this streak, but that next kill, huge from Shotzzy, able to play his life. Crim looking over him, and while CleanX is having a great game, the rest of his team, not so much. In Dallas Empire, there has always been a response to slaying on point for them throughout this round.
Yeah, there's been a couple scary positions they've come out of. Oh, might be another one.
Another
from a 3v6.
Yeah.
Oh, God, from a 3v6 to a 3v3. 8 seconds to go. The man on the point is going to be Vivid. Vivid's got a hold. The new guy on the squad. Can he step up and go big for the team? I don't know what fight that was. There ends up being a team kill. Now it's a one-on-one. 5.6 to go. And the nade. It ends up... He doesn't heal. I think he's still at 5 HP. And Crim gets there in time to get the final one. What the hell were the final moments of that round?
Yeah, I mean, Toronto just take map control away. I think sometimes it goes so fast they catch defensive teams off guard, just right up the middle of the map. Dallas, we're thinking kind of we got to bounce back from this, right? CleanX is calling that streak in. Great kills out of Shotzzy and Crim. But then it comes down to that 3v3 and Vivid, just his ability to stay alive. I know it was a weird fight, but the fact he wins that one huge for Dallas Empire.
It looked insane. Like, it looked so
like a kung
awkward
fu
for both
fight. I don't know
players.
what it was.
Yeah, like they headbutted each other. One, they were going out of bounds. Like, it looked insane. But Empire, hold on. How much progress did they get at the second point?
I didn't see exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have an advantage because they got a point, but I wasn't sure how much they got at B or at A. Well, Empire, they'll get the first tick done with the early push at A. They get cleared off it though pretty quickly. Nice clean sweep from Ultra. Grim. Krieg's still on point.
And again, this is where they've kind of been able to keep them in the rounds offensively. Is like Toronto has had map control, but never to the point where they've been trapped. You've always had one more alive. It was Crim and iLLeY in round one. So far, it's been Crim and iLLeY throughout this round. At least gives them some room to work with. Shotzzy trying to work the point. Cammy's still there. Crim with a nice trade, but they're just trying to pause the clock.
Yeah, because the clock is becoming an issue now. 35 seconds to go. They couldn't get either site done the first offensive round. Can they do it here? iLLeY might be the guy that can find an opening. I thought he had the second one too, but Cleanex wins the fight. Maybe a little weak from that first engagement. Had the clock stop for a moment, but now that's going to be 2 down, 20 seconds to go. It's desperation effort now for Empire. As the players come off spawn, this is going to be the last push. You got to go through Cleanex, who's just hitting you in the face as soon as you come up. Cammy finds one too. Cleanex still lurking. Nice movement. He'll get finished, and that will do it. They don't have time to get to a point. A flawless defense from Ultra.
They do a really good job just keeping map control. As we saw in round one, not going 3 or 4 dead. There was always a trade on the map. Cammy flies in, Vans with a trade. There's always these trades. And when they do get 3 dead, Dallas, they're just all the way stuck. It was like 19-18 in lives. I think it ends up being like 18-11, 18-12. They just ran away with that one. And as you said, just not a lot of progress done for Dallas Empire at B.
A question for you. Like, we talk a lot about that, right? On either side of it, how you have to avoid 3 or 4 downs, because that's usually the shift. The game plays so fast. Like, what can you do to avoid that?
Not getting gunned?
Yeah, I wonder sometimes it's as simple as that. Like, just winning gunfights or...
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a tough thing to avoid with the pace of the game. Like, you know, you can have 3-4 down happen in a second and a half, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, if that's happening in a second, that means 3 or 4 people lost one-on-one. So, yeah.
Okay. So it can be a tough thing to avoid. Like, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, especially if a team is hot. But Ultra have been great at it so far within this. They're up 2-1. One more round win will seal the deal. Vance keeps shooting. He knows another one's coming in. So far, Empire all right defensively. Okay, Cleanex is doing 360 melees now. That'll be 2 dead. Pressure on Crim and iLLeY to pick up the kills while their teammates work back off a spawn. 28 and 14 out of Cleanex. The man is dropping a bomb. And everybody else on his team around even or negative, like, he is just frying this lobby. He's just dominating. A triple. They're stacking. 31 and 14, 4 in a row, the zone done.
That's one of those examples. Yeah, I mean, that just cannot happen. There's no trade there. They're on top of each other. And now the transition over to A, you already have 3 teammates out here because Cleanex is killing the entire team on the opposite side of the map. Now up to a 5 spree. The progress is there. iLLeY, he's got to go, but they're down 5 in lives, trying to wait for his teammates. It is so close to being map done for Toronto Ultra.
Another kill or 2, and that might decide it. Grim was able to win a couple of one-on-ones, though, and clear it for now. So they get halfway to the final tick, but can't finish it. Still a 4-life advantage for Ultra, but as ugly as that sequence was, if you're Empire, you still got a shot here. You can hold. But you have to be efficient in the lives count.
Yeah, that's the problem. We talked about how efficient Toronto Ultra have been at trading. There's one of those moments, though, that doesn't happen. Vivid's able to catch 2 off guard. What, inside he's going on a mantle? He probably doesn't mean to. But it's tough, right? Because how do you balance fighting middle of the map and giving up lives the way they just did with maybe turtling up? And, well, they try to get aggressive Shotzzy and Crim, but they get caught. Now it's 4 dead. And now you have control of the point. Toronto Ultra, they're going to win that one. They're going to 3-0 Dallas Empire. They get right back to it.
An impressive 3-0 out of Ultra. Anyone that might have been worried, I think it came down to a couple of things from that first series. Mutineers are getting better. They're starting to click, and Ultra just, didn't get an incredible series out of a couple of their superstars, but you saw it here. I mean, Kleenex, during that final round, just some individual brilliant moments. The kid is nutty.
And I feel like it's just that map, dude. I feel a couple of times we've watched him on Garrison Control, Garrison Hardpoint. He's just so active. And, with Garrison, you have the ability to drop down under the tanks. There's a lot of finesse, and I think Kleenex, dude, it's kind of just his playground. It's a ton of fun to watch him, though.
Oh, it really is. That sequence was amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you're if you're cracked, if the movement that Gunny's feeling on point as a sub player, yeah, it literally is like a playground. It's all the mantling and sliding and spots you can get behind. The finesses you mentioned, he was just running through them. And for Empire, with the new look roster, still looking for those improvements, just not going to happen here.
Well, I think for Dallas Empire, this isn't one with a new roster you expect to win. I think you're happy you survived the first series by winning a Game 5. There's a couple of moments here, though. In the first hard point, right after Basketball Hill, how did that all fall apart? And that was kind of what that multi-kill by Kleenex. In Game 2, you have the team kill round when you're up 3-0, and it just feels like momentum goes away. And then right there on that control, right, how do you have a better defensive round against one of the best attacking teams in the game?
No, you nailed it. You didn't expect to win this necessarily, but still, there's some mistakes that need to be cleaned up without question. But let's get right to our scuff play of the game, and it's going to be kind of midway through that round 4, where Ultra start to run away with things, and yeah, it's probably the Kleenex highlight machine. We're going to see through a bit of this.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of what I always talked about. He gets into these positions. Him and Bance, they just work so well together, but his ability to reposition on the map, find those angles, and, Dallas, they go for the retake here. They know there's 35 seconds left. But when you go for this is a huge risk because, look, everyone else is going down. Toronto Ultra, they fly across the map. Kleenex, he's like, oh, well, thank you. I'm going to take those 4 kills. 31 on the board at this moment. The man was doing it all.
How often do we see that? I mean, the scenario will be a little bit different, but when you're trying to retake the first point and you get smoked, it just ends up being you're battling off the back foot for the rest of the sequence. It feels like it's so difficult to do, but Ultra, they get the dub. They win it in 3-0 fashion, as they'll be excited about that one in their battle for Stage 4, trying to get back to a championship at the end of it. But for now, we're going to break things down. We're going to toss it over to Miles, Study, and Nameless after the break.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Another one bites the dust here in the Chicago home series as we're getting through it real quick today, friends. This schedule brought to you by the US Army Toronto. Another sweep. But will the next series be a sweep? I certainly hope it won't be. Our Game Fuel marquee match coming up next. OpTic versus Atlanta FaZe. And oh my word, gentlemen, what a day of games it has been already. It's me, it's Miles, it's Nameless, and it's Study, and we're going to walk you through a little bit of the next moments. Before we do that though, friends, check out the Seany eyewear. I've got mine on all day today. We say it every time, but these big old lights, these screens are in front of, whether it be the smaller ones, mobile phones, or the bigger ones in front of your computers. Protect your eyeballs and therefore your brain. Make sure you don't get the migraines. Seany, keep them safe. We like blockers. We love them. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. The official eyewear of the Call of Duty League with good reason. With that being said, though, gentlemen, we've got to talk a little bit of Call of Duty League. And you are a prophet. Actually, you too, Study, with the submachine gun chat. But Nameless, you said that Search and Destroy was the go-to for Dallas in that series. What happened, mate?
Yeah, I mean, it was about the only mode in that series that looked like Empire had a fighting chance as well. And you just see, I mean, Toronto, they made wonderful adjustments. They were clearly, ticked off at their last loss that they had, especially in the Search and Destroy. And today, they came with some good plays. So we're going to take a look at round number 6, where they do a wonderful play here, man. They sent a couple players over near A, and, they made quite a bit of noise. So you see Empire, this round, they were stacked over here. And Cleanex is just the last guy remaining. And meanwhile, there's 40 seconds left in the round, so the last minute or so, the rest of the Toronto players were rotating back over towards B, but Cleanex held here as the island player. Now he's done his job. He's distracted them long enough. He picks up a kill, and now Toronto's going to get this bomb planted at B. Meanwhile, Insight, he didn't fully wrap with them, which I thought was really smart, because sometimes when you see teams do that play, they'll all commit to the wrap. Well, Insight waited because he knew there were players still up top command center and catches them on their rotation to go back to B. It was a beautiful adjustment and a fantastic round out of the Ultra.
And just to touch on it, just watching Dallas Empire in the respawns, I said it before the series started, it came down to the SMG presence. And in that first map, you had one player in Vivid who dropped a 0.4, and then Shotzzy on the other side who had a 0.5. And this is not good, but let's just put a lot of focus on Vivid, because this is a guy who's fairly new to this team. It's only his second match so far, but he hasn't had a good match with these guys yet. And it's just really scary because he's a totally different player. Watching him on LAG, he was a lot more confident, a lot more just assertive on the map, and he's looking like he's just trying to fill gaps, and it's not really working out. I would like to see him to just get more comfortable, man. You're here for a reason. Dallas Empire put their faith in you, and you need to go out there and show the reason why you deserve to be here. And right now, he's just not doing it, man.
Yeah, Dallas certainly struggling, it has to be said. 5 of the last losses have been sweeps, not what you'd expect out of your world champions. Gentlemen, you're both prophets, it has to be said. It's like you do this as your job, as a living. You know what was coming, and so did we. But there we go, friends. That's that. 2 of the matches done today. We still have one more very exciting one coming up, that Game Fuel marquee match. We've got FaZe and we've got OpTic waiting in the wings, getting ready for this one. Upon return, I will be chatting to our boy Insight. But before we get to that, lads, let's talk about this next one. I've got ourselves a massive Game Fuel marquee matchup coming up next. Nameless, who do you think, man? You got OpTic, you got FaZe. FaZe is dangerous. Last time they met, it was hideous. Who do you got taking it today?
Listen, I'm going to shock the world with this pick, and chat's going to be like, wow, I'm actually picking them. But I think OpTic's going to take this one 3-1. We look at the maps, and they're starting off with a Moscow hardpoint. That is a fantastic opportunity for OpTic to go up in this series. You look at map number 3, it's his raid control, where they were good at earlier in the season. They seem to have found their fitting on that map now once again. And then in Apocalypse hardpoint, I think they could take all 3 respawns here. What we saw to FaZe in their last match, it wasn't that pretty. They got by the skin of their teeth. So I'm going to OpTic 3-1.
I'm going completely opposite, man. I'm going to go FaZe 3-1, and the only reason why is because, like you said, that map 4 in Apocalypse, FaZe just have a lot more reps in it. They're 3-5 on the season compared to OpTic, where they're 1-2. So playing it 8 times compared to 3, eventually you're going to fix out those kinks. I think that FaZe are just a way better team, at least in the respawns, and they're just going to walk away with that and walk away in a 3-1 fashion.
I like the sound of that one, boys. I've actually got FaZe taking this 3-2 all the way to that game 5. That's because I locked this in without having seen the maps, but I'm going to respect the pick'ems because that's where we're at. But we are bound to be treated to a brilliant series either way. 2 fantastic teams going at each other. When we come back after the break, I'm talking to my mate Jamie. I'm talking to Insight in our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight, friends. A sweet 3-0. We'll get his thoughts and feels on the subject. Until then, we'll see you, friends, after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. It is now time for your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. I am joined by Insight of Toronto Ultra, a man who clearly loves the camera, and the camera clearly loves him. Having a good time, mate. Firstly, congratulations on the 3-0. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Can't complain about that victory royale. So it was a good bounce back.
A winner, chicken dinner indeed. Let's talk about the search and destroy. You were down by 4. You pulled it back. It was beautiful. What was it like in that moment for the comms and the team? What was the mood going into that one?
So obviously we've studied a lot about them, and we know what they like to do. Basically, in the first few rounds, we were kind of trying to play towards them, trying to counter them. It didn't really work, so we just had a little chat in mid-game. Said, listen, let's go back to what we normally do, our bread and butter, and we just brought the rounds back, really.
1 round at a time, mate. Well done. Coming into this stage, mate, obviously you're one of the top teams, it has to be said, no doubt about it. But what do you do now genuinely to improve? What's the focus been on this stage to improve? I mean, we saw you search and destroy before. What's been the absolute, go-to this stage?
I mean, for us, really, it's more we're trying to get more consistent at hardpoint, expand our pool a little bit. Obviously, we know it's not the most in-depth, and it can be better. So that's something we're definitely focusing on. And we're definitely trying to put the pieces together in S&D a bit more as well, because after stage 2 it took a bit of a dip, but we're doing things to make it a little bit better.
Right on, mate. Well, let's dive away from the game now for our final question. Can you tell us anything about you, Insight, that we the fans may not know? Like something about your pre-game ritual, your favourite meal, what might it be? Give us a little bit of spice.
Okay. We'll go with pre-game ritual. I've always got to go to Starbucks and get a certain order. And then my favorite meal is my mum's Sunday dinner that she makes. Nothing like home cooked dinner. And I support every team in Leeds.
Good man. Good man. I felt there's more in there. We could probably get you another time, but I doubt it'll be the last time we speak in our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. So, mate, thank you so much again. We've got that clip of you having a wicked time just coming into this interview in just a moment, mate. Thank you so much again, Insight. Congrats on the 3-0. And here you go. You're legend. Look how happy you were, mate. Well done again. Brilliant.
passion unmatched there from Insight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, it's time for that Game Fuel Game Fuel marquee match. That was your victory spotlight. It's OpTic, it's FaZe. We're having a good time here in the league. We'll be right back after this.
Okay, just go. Okay, you're shotgunning a game field blue one to be exact? Oh, shit. Yo.
It's not done.
Yeah.
Envoy knows it's time for the Game Fuel marquee match because he's throwing them back. Envoy locked in, ready to roll. As yeah, I saw a clip when it got posted. It was cracking me up, Joe. But you can't not be excited for FaZe versus OpTic. It has some history. We're ready to roll.
I mean, you could not be excited because last time these two teams played, it was not good at all. I mean, so maybe some people at home might not be, but I am very excited because since that match, OpTic has been in different form. They're 4-1 since then. It feels like that really lit a fire under them. And then look at that third major, another Game 5 round 11, very close to making that run. And they're looking back into that form we expect them to be.
Yeah, a big part of it, it's Dashy. He's going to be our Game Fuel Game Fuel featured player. And Dashy, he had his struggles, and then he got locked in again, and he has been frying. I know there's been some improvements, and they've been trying to work on some of the mistakes, but I think Dashy, being Dashy, simply is enough to help them in a lot of these matchups.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the discussion was around the Krig and this and that, but I mean, stage 3, stage 2, I mean, he was fine with it. He was great. He was putting up good numbers. You know, stage 3, there was a bit of a lull time there, but at the major, it felt like he got his confidence back. I think it was just simply that. I mean, you see the year that he has had. You do not put up numbers like that across 3 stages unless you've been one of the best players in the world, and he has been. A couple of off matches, sure, the whole team has that, but, you know, I think for Dashy, the sort of flow of the game, he's got to be locked in. He's got to be confident enough to take those gunfights, and at the major, we saw that.
We highlighted Dashy quite a bit, but let's take a look at the rest of the roster. Let's meet them. This is OpTic Chicago.
Mighty keeps it going.
Looking fantastic.
Envoy slaying his way through Scump from up high, the king.
I'm out here doing what they thinking is irrational.
Really starting to run that score up.
I'm gonna make it back. I'm gonna make it back, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, OpTic gave it a back. Chicago are a force to be reckoned with.
As you said, Joe, since that 7-minute series versus FaZe, they have improved. They've looked strong. But there were a lot of takeaways from their Ultra loss. I mean, I found it so impressive they got to a Game 5 situation like that, considering a lot of the mistakes we saw from them. I think for me, all eyes are going to be on that. Those little blunders that seem to keep cursing them, the little mistakes or, I don't know, hesitations that this team has, can they put them in the rearview mirror and really become a top team? Because they are, but I don't know that anyone's going to lump them in with the current big three. Can they get there?
Honestly, the way their year is kind of like played out, they've had just a couple of key moments, and if they're a little bit different, they probably are top 3 at a couple of these majors, and that discussion is different. Reminds me of like Dallas last year. I think for OpTic, it's just obviously they want to compete and win majors, but can they peak at the right time? Can they get over those blunders and mistakes? And I just feel like those sort of sculpt you, right? It just is like you deal with those painful losses and it sucks, but you come out a little bit better on the other side of it, and that's what we've seen so far from this squad.
Yeah, losing is learning. Just how much can they learn? And they might learn something from this one, because on the other side of this matchup, you've got the reigning champs. They've won 2 out of 3 majors so far this year. Let's take a look at Atlanta FaZe.
The game has turned on its head.
Run! Run! Get onto the point! Cellium finds himself 2 more. Oh, baby! Absolutely slayed. What a magnificent comeback from Atlanta.
What is there to say about FaZe? They've been in all 3 finals. They're able to take the last one. They're solid in every single game mode. They have 4 players that at any point can peak as the best player in the game. They're a good team.
I mean, that's really, they're a complete team. They're tough to beat, as you said. Really, the one thing that stood out to me was like stage 2 search and destroy. But this man on your screen right here, Arcitys, for me, he was a monster in stage 3. I think he took that major 2 loss. He used it as motivation because him and Cell really struggled in the major 2 final against Toronto Ultra. And they brought it back throughout stage 3. And Arcitys, he led the league in the overall KD category. And he's just flowing with confidence right now.
100%. And, you know, one of the curses of maybe being a team like OpTic and the brand and the players that it has is, you know, sometimes maybe you'll get FaZe not 100% locked in and not going to be completely on top of things. But when you're playing a team like OpTic and you are the players that are on FaZe, like, they're going to bring it 100%.
Yeah, and we actually have a very interesting map set here. You get Moscow, which is great for both teams, and Control Raid, which is really good for both teams. But because of the new maps, right, you have Standoff that's going to be vetoed. So you have a Miami Search and Destroy, which neither team is really great at. You have an Express Search and Destroy, which is neither team is really great at. So it's some interesting maps. Even Apocalypse, Atlanta's played a lot of it. They're 3 and 5. In Chicago, they're 1 and 2. So just the way these vetoes worked out, we have some really strong maps for these teams, but then some off maps where we usually don't see them that often.
Does it feel like this is a series that comes down to the searches, or where does it get decided for you?
Ooh, I'm looking at this first hardpoint and raid control as maybe the deciding factors. I mean, obviously it could go to like a game 5, but those 2 are kind of the beefy boys, I would say, because it's where both teams have a lot of repetitions. Atlanta FaZe on this map 8 and 1, Chicago 7 and 4.
As you said, some good maps for either squad. Team kill to start things off, not what you want. Envoy is going to get picked off by a Simtex from Scump, but at least Dashy able to locate a kill. But we'll see if that team kill is really going to punish them. It seems like for the most part they've survived it. aBeZy does end up getting through, but you know, there's not. I was worried there'd be a clean wipe and push and flip, honestly, after the team kill, but it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, not as bad as it could have been, but still, you don't have a lot of map control. Dashy does spawn out. You have 2 players working low street right now for Atlanta FaZe. You know, OpTic has made sure they've always had someone inside of Laundry in this position, but this is basically a 2v3 towards the back. Formal able to take down 2. It's going to be Scump versus Arcitys for back street control, and Arcitys able to win it. Such a strong spot. He turns that into 2 as well. Atlanta FaZe, they're able to get 26 points off the start. Some scrap time going to go the way of Chicago, but now you have a lot of great position. He continues 5 in a row for Arcitys.
I mean, Scump got him so weak, and then that position was just nuts. The fact that he ends up on a 5 streak, just unbelievable. And you mentioned his dominance in the last stage. Looks like he's trying to pick up right where he left off. You've got numbers right now on the hold if you are FaZe, and it might be some early streaks. 6 now in a row for Arcitys. And who do you have pushing through mid already, just trying to stagger it? It was aBeZy, but he will get caught.
And that's just one of those moments, right? There's the streaks, but you know, that trade, if it's a little bit more effective, this doesn't happen. You have someone at P2 with some control. Maybe it gets messy, but you don't have the streaks. And that's just one that, you know, obviously go back and look at, be frustrated with, because this game could be a blowout here soon with those streaks, with the positioning. And he's going to go for the cruise missile, try to call the couple of players all the way towards the back. He's going to let Simp know he's not seeing anything right now. That means they're all the way back library.
Well, the call comes in. They get 3. The last player alive will drop in Envoy. 4 down. Point control to FaZe. It was clean. And early streaks, how huge they can be. But look at the control you've got right now if you are FaZe. Already 20 seconds off of this point, and really OpTic starting to get their first push on.
Yeah, I mean, because you had 4 clean dead, you had aBeZy all the way pushed up towards top escalators, right? They knew the position that they were in, and you're not even getting an attempt here. You might be able to contest a second, but no, now Cell's on a 5 spree. Dashy at least is able to have that trade, but you don't get to contest until 20 seconds left. Is Atlanta FaZe able to just use that momentum, use that streak, and get all the information to find those kills?
So, Arcity's streak started about, I think, around 40 seconds in first. 40 seconds into first, and he just died at the end of third. That's kind of wild. I mean, just that stretch without dying.
Yeah, well, he didn't have to fund anyone there for a little bit, too. But
Yeah,
over to our game fuel feature player, Dashy. This could be a moment, though. Can they get back into it? RC still has that artillery if he wants to use it. They've gotten much better at this bus hill. This is where they've been able to earn a lot of time. And maybe to stop some momentum for OpTic, where RCs will want to use it, just regain map control. But it looks like they're going for a very wide 2-2 pinch. aBeZy's position, RC's going to spawn up with him.
Well, OpTic, they go in an early hole. It was dominant from FaZe, but this is where you have to try and answer back. While we're on with our game fuel feature player, let's get right to an Astro listening with OpTic Chicago.
So we
take it, I knew.
Another one shot.
Wait, I have your help till?
One shot.
He's hurt. He went up Eskies. Up Eskies, Abe.
Abe, up Eskies, weak.
Playing through.
Yeah, it's in through.
He's got globe or some shit.
Yeah, top globe.
He's like, right. Alex.
Nice.
Eskies Mundo.
Flashing street.
Mid window, you said?
Yeah. Mid window. Help. Go planner. Go planner.
Mid window. I will.
Eskies mid window on me.
I'm in the bottom.
Yo, Abe is on hill.
I have your
right.
Yo, street Alex.
Two mid window.
Yo, you're back to B search.
He's challenging you. We spawn mid.
I spawn mid. Yeah, I'm gonna go Eskies.
Hill, Simp. One shot.
We can time, Tim.
Okay, let's try to contest this.
Eskies.
Yo, take it on one shot time.
I have your right. I have your right.
My child left.
Right, BD.
Nice, two. One more right side hill, Simp.
Turn.
And one mid window, probably.
Let's go back.
Mid window. Yeah, they're so spawn here again. They spawn here again.
Go through.
I'm hitting through.
Yo, street, get time.
I'm getting time.
Back PD.
Get time. Look at PD for Dill.
Where was street?
Yeah, he was backside their street. He probably rotated. One could be glass.
Yo, he's globe and glass.
So bottom PDA.
Nice.
Bottom PDA. Weak and one.
There's 2 deep street. Got one.
Yo, hit through.
Help Dill.
Yeah, I'm staying alive here.
Wasn't PD Abe. The other guy's back street.
In hill, Alec.
I'll see
Cube.
Side door.
I don't see the guy. Cube Alec. One shot. In the yellow cube. One shot.
Abe's in B search.
I'm going front. Come front.
No, I'm going
front.
Yo, once B search push me out.
That's him. I'm going front.
Abe weak street, bro. Abe and BSND weak.
I'm on mid right now.
We're spawning P1.
On time, dead.
Vectors. Back so one shot. Back so one shot.
Nice, two.
Side door hurt.
Side door not peeking. I have your side.
Side door.
Yo, one's back hill.
I think a lot of times when we talk about what a nuisance aBeZy can be, we're like seeing it from FaZe's POV as he's flying. You got a good example of it from the opposing team's POV there.
I mean, there's just a lot of these scenarios where I think, you know, if you're an opposing team, you think they're just going to get into a setup, you have time to heal, and who's the guy just running through the door, finding 3 kills? It's aBeZy. I mean, you know, he just makes some of these gunfights look easy. They're not easy. It's just why he's such a talented player, but he takes the fight to them at times when they don't expect it. Now, OpTic, they're going to have to force to rotate on over, but you still had the artillery in the back pocket. That will open up the front of the hill. The spawns, the kills go in the way of OpTic.
And that is huge. They survived that streak. They desperately need time. 40 seconds remaining. Can they accrue all of it? Scump is trying to hold the front push. He's at least able to take down one. And Envoy still surviving the hold there as well. We go right over to aBeZy. They're looking to set up this next opening. There's only 25 seconds left or so, but it looks like they want to take another stab at this. Scump and Envoy once again finding the kills and trying to get it going. Envoy's 19 and 15. He's on 6 in a row. He's got a chance to get some streaks. Scump maybe starting to come alive a bit too. I think he was around double negative.
Well, he was around like, yeah, it hasn't been a great map for Scump, but even in that listening, you can kind of hear some of his frustrations. Just having to take some one-on-ones against aBeZy, and aBeZy was winning them. But only down 70. He's able to get the artillery. Can he find the crews? And, you know, they have a setup here at Bus. Like, this is an opportunity for OpTic to bring it back within 20.
See if OpTic can make the run. If T2B can turn it around. They're both sitting at 8 and 16, just trying to catch fire. Over to our game field featured player in Dashy. As FaZe have gotten back into the point, so that moment where it looked like OpTic could make a rally, it didn't survive long. I know no one's soaking up time at the moment, but it's not going to be a nice extra 30-40 points as Cellium just locking down street with aBeZy. They're able to combine to take down all 4. Just too easy.
Well, and they find those kills, and look what they do, right? They flip the map. Now, at this P1 setup, you're going to have Atlanta FaZe on the side of the map that they want. They're finding the kills. They're forcing OpTic to have to work all the way across the map. You know, I was wondering if maybe Envoy is in a position he would try to use that artillery. Not able to do so, and now they need a break here and try to push on through. He still has a cruise missile to work with, so he did earn both. But, I mean, since that moment, it's just been all Atlanta FaZe in the kill feed.
Yeah, no, I mean, he just used the ping, too. He's got the streaks to work with. It's just, is the deficit too much? And we've seen some really crazy comebacks here. You can string together a lot of hard points. They're going to need to do it. Now the artillery. He does get one. Arcitys will drop. They haven't been able to flip yet, but they're at least getting the time. Making sure the FaZe can't inch any closer to this victory. And Cellium is just finding kills and flurries. 20 and 12 now on 3 in a row.
And I think it's just like, Envoy, you want to use those streaks at, like, when you can, right? You want to use them at times where you're really owning the map to rotate, to flip a spawn, to win the next hill. They just haven't been able to do that. Envoy was hoping that the bus hill goes well. Then they can use one of those streaks at P1, right? If they're able to win that bus hill, be down 20 or 30, they can use the streak at P1 to flip to P2, but that doesn't happen. Atlanta FaZe, they dictate the pace of the map by winning all of those gunfights afterwards, and as you said, now the deficit just too big.
Yeah, I mean, they get a decent streak use there in the sense he gets 2 when they get into the point. There's still one lurking in the back, but yeah, it's just you're still down 100. Scump now getting going. Dashy finds one as well. And they pull off the improbable behind this rally. This is where you just wish maybe you had one more streak. So you can transition out of this and maybe get a quick break at third.
That's what I mean, right? You want to be the one dictating when you can use those. On the other side, though, is Atlanta FaZe, because they were so close to winning, they forced his hand. He had to use both of them to get them off the first and the second hill. And, well, on rotation, aBeZy able to find one. They got to go. 14 seconds until Atlanta FaZe close out on this map number 1. It's just going to be Dashy and Scump until the rest of their teammates can get there, but they're going to get shut down.
In FaZe, they start out hot. They get streaks early. It's a 9 streak from Arcitys that makes the noise in the beginning of the game, and they take it. 250 on the board. 157 for OpTic. And it was dominant from the get-go. I mean, in Arcitys, he was so impressive early, but I think Cell might have had like 4 different 5 sprees. I felt like he was working towards streaks more often than not.
Well, that's what made them so scary throughout stage 3. Like, obviously, you still have Simp and aBeZy, which is fantastic, but it was really the ARs, especially on a slaying level that have just stepped up since that second major, since that loss. Those two have been playing at an incredibly high level, and they've been so consistent.
Yeah, I think if you're OpTic, you're just hoping, for Formal and Scump, they both started out double, triple negative. They started to heat up a little bit as the map went on, but it was just too late. Just hope maybe that was a flat start for them. They got into a groove later in the map, and then they'll bring it the rest of the series. But yeah, it was just, it just started out poorly. You had the team kill from Scump, so it ended up being quick hard point control and a flip about 20 seconds later for FaZe. You got the 9 spree on RCs right away to get streaks to make it even more difficult. It's just before you knew what was going on, it was like an 80-point hole.
Yeah, it's just the RC trade, right? Those streaks, to me, that's a huge moment. And then that bus hill, when Envoy finally gets going, when the momentum finally starts to shift in favor of OpTic's way, Atlanta FaZe, they get the break, they get up to over 200 points. That forces Envoy to use those streaks.
FaZe, they're loving the map 1 victory. The boys in control early, up 1-0, continuing their dominance after the Major 3 victory. We'll head to Search and Destroy after the break.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you